is certified PG. Pretty great.
It's Anomaly Presents with your friends, the Podcastronauts.
Sounds like a lot of supernatural baloney to me.
Supernatural. Perhaps. Baloney. Perhaps not.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Anomaly Presents, the podcast about the genre movies that have inspired the genre film festival known as Anomaly. It's the Anomaly Film Festival in beautiful Rochester, New York, taking place this November at some point at the beautiful Little Theater. Dates to come soon. My name is Matt Austin. I am joined here tonight to talk about the 1994 action video game classic Street Fighter with the Podcastronauts and a special guest Podcastronaut tonight. We'll start by introducing Kristen Pelk-Pacheco.
Hey everybody, big Street Fighter fan. I'm wearing my Ryu shirt, and I even dug out my Street Fighter 2 Super Nintendo cartridge. So
hell yeah, excited. KP, ready.
Yes.
Megan Murphy is also here tonight, as you've heard. Hi, Meg.
Hi, I'm here. Oh no, I ruined the surprise. I am also here. I'm always here.
And would you do us a favor of introducing our guest Podcastronaut for tonight?
You got, hey everybody, this is my friend and also person who loves the Street Fighter movie, Ray. You may know him, I guess, if we have any, we're trying to cross over an audience here, so work with us, right? Ray is the storyteller on the Monster of the Week podcast that I recorded with him called $2 Creature Feature. That's how we met. We tell stories together.
I would also like to add in that I am a yellow belt in Taekwondo from almost 30 years ago. So, I'm kind of a combat expert.
Hey.
More than some of the actors in this film.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
I say that lovingly.
That is
reading
some of the stories about the training for this. It's hysterical. So yes, 1994's Street Fighter, the star-crossed film starring Jean-Claude Van Damme, Raul Julia, Ming-Na Wen, Kylie Minogue.
Can't forget Kylie Minogue. I'm like, I know you're looking at the list. You're not forgetting Kylie.
This is off the dome, KP. Off the dome piece.
Yeah.
Right, that's why I started staring at the ceiling, because I could not pull it out of my head. Steven D'Souza is our director, writer. He action legend. He wrote Commando. He wrote Die Hard, kind of. He polished up Die Hard, I suppose, amongst many others. This is his first feature, and oh boy, what a feature it is.
Yeah.
Fighting for his life to make this movie.
Yeah. You know what? The fight was worth it, though, okay? The fight was worth it.
Yep.
Also, he wasn't the only one fighting for his life to make this movie. Is that in bad taste? I'm sorry.
No, it's a good place to start. It's a good place to start. So, yeah, let's kind of get into it. It's a fun movie. I think when it came out, it made money. Like, people went to see it.
Triple its budget.
It was, what was the quote I saw that he said? D'Souza said Van Damme made two movies that made over $100 million. This one and Time Cop.
Yep.
Which, yeah, it's rarefied air there.
He needed to make that much money with how much coke he was doing. That
was it. And that was kind of one of the issues that came up, wasn't it? So yeah, they all got together in Bangkok to make this movie, right? And how do we want to start? Do we want to go with plot, or do we want to go with how? Let's do this. Let's just talk about how we feel about the movie.
Oh, I like that. Yeah.
Let's start there. Yeah. All right. So, and I don't mean to put you on the spot, Ray, but you're our new friend. Let's start with you. How do you feel about Street Fighter the movie?
Okay. So this is probably a hot take, but this is probably the best G.I. Joe movie ever made.
I love that.
Oh, I turned it on to kind of refresh myself on this, and just that opening credit sequence of, everybody's at the hunkered lair, and, Bison's killing off people left and right, and, we have the news broadcast like cutting in, and it's just like, this really feels like a G.I. Joe movie.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, and I love that. I mean, it's not true to the games, because surprisingly fighting games have a plot to it. And I don't want to I don't want to get ahead of myself by talking about how, like, this is a prime example of like adapting away from the source and just not getting the vibe of it. Because you can adapt away from a source and still get the vibe. That's fine. I consider that, like, in comparison, Mortal Kombat would be in that bracket. And this is just getting away from the source and sort of getting away from the vibe as well. But it is still a great movie. It has some of my favorite lines in it. And for anybody who wants to know, Zangief is my absolute favorite character in this movie. Because he has all the best lines.
I was just saying off air, I said, I love Zangief in this so much.
Yep.
I love whenever they're watching the video and they're seeing the truck coming in, and he's like, quick, change the channel.
Change the channel. I'm like, oh.
It's such a good joke, and his delivery is just perfect.
I was watching it with my kid yesterday, and that was the thing that made him laugh the hardest in the whole movie. Because he's live action Kronk, and it's the best.
Mm-hmm. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
I mean, okay. I feel like, I feel like coming from it, for like, okay, so I remember Street Fighter and I played it in the arcade, but I don't feel like fidelity to it, like even now or then, right? But I remember enjoying the film, and then rewatching it today. I wanted it fresh. I was like, oh no, this is a genuinely good film. I don't know if it's like Street Fighter film, because there's very little actual like one-on-one fight. It's wild. They keep setting up these fights and then they never happen. But as just a fun film that never stops. This thing starts, I thought I'd be half paying attention to it as I was remembering it. No, I got laser focused, because like, this is just genuinely entertaining. Things happen. There's very little like flab. It just goes, this thing happens and this thing happens. Now they're here. Do you need to know how they got to the camp? No, you don't. It's fine. Now they're there and they're dressed up like a magic group. It's fine. And I appreciate that energy because it feels very purposeful. The film is just trying to be like fun, silly. I mean, the dramatic stakes are so wild that it doesn't matter at all. And I guess I'm just astounded at how many characters and settings they fit into this. From what I've read, the writer-director and his son would go and play Street Fighter at the arcade. That's part of the reason how he got the job. So I can definitely tell that someone who like knew this stuff and like, how do we get these people in their costumes? We'll figure it out. Don't worry about it. How did the E Honda background get into the evil lair? Doesn't matter. It was just painted on there. It's fine. And I appreciate that energy because I think that's what this film needed. If it was going to be this instead of a very close to the source material movie, which I don't even know was possible at the time. Like that'd be a TV series, right? But to do a movie, that's what this is.
So they had a TV series.
Oh yeah, I think that if you're gonna get like actual lore, but if you just want to have fun with these characters, this movie's fun. It's fun. It's fun, y'all. It's fun and on purpose fun.
Yeah.
KP. Yep. What do you think?
So super fun time. I feel like it's an opposite to Mortal Kombat in a way. Like I felt like Mortal Kombat had funny moments, but had much more heart, where this was like, we're just going to have explosions and nonsense and like extra over the top ridiculousness. I'm sure some of that fitting in all the characters, part of the challenge was that he only wanted to put in so many, and Capcom kept coming back to him and telling him he needed to put in more.
Amazing. I'm like, T-Hawk, you're fun. What are you doing in this, man?
Mm-hmm.
Like there's a couple characters I'm like, I'm sorry, I keep forgetting you're here, and it's not your fault.
And you don't even realize that's him until they say by name and then his character description,
and then they make him put the
headband on.
Cammy's literally like, why that headband?
Why that?
Yeah, there was moments that made me laugh so hard because I think if you like in the Marvel era we live in now, where like you see Easter eggs and it's more subtle oftentimes. And then, we have the call up for the headband. We have, Jean-Claude Van Damme doing the muscle with the flag on it. I mean, just very, very silly. And that's what makes it great. Like my other favorite fighting movie, Dead or Alive. So
Yeah. And
Yo,
that's
hey,
just
so glad
everybody,
somebody else
go
has seen
go
that.
listen to our episode.
yeah, Ray, I made them
Yeah.
all watch it.
Oh, good.
It was great.
this was
I missed
maybe
that. I'm gonna go back and listen.
2 years ago, maybe a year and a half ago,
Yeah.
somewhere in there.
Oh, it was quite some time. Yeah.
I
But-
feel like it was one of the foundational episodes.
Yeah. It's honestly what put us on doing video game movies, because I think that was our first video game movie and we had such a good time with it. And you're right, there are absolute echoes. I wonder if that's intentional for DOA to have echoed Street Fighter. But yeah, what did you have? I don't want to cut you off because okay,
Please
great.
go ahead. I was like,
All right,
it's
yeah.
a good time.
I agree.
I love that you watched it with your kid because I'm curious. What is the new generation experience with the Street Fighter from 1994?
So it was interesting because he was watching it in true 9-year-old watching a movie style. So he was playing Pokemon at the exact same time.
Of course, yeah.
Mood.
But
Who among us?
here is the power of this film is that he would poke his head up and start watching, and then it got longer and longer gaps between he was paying attention to Pokemon, to the point where it got to, that changed the channel, and then the siege on Bison's lair, and he was locked in.
Aww,
So like
I love that so much.
this was like baby's first action movie, and he 100% locked in on it. And I asked him afterwards because he loves rating things 1 to 10. So I was like, so what do you think about that movie? He's like 9 out of 10. 9 out of 10.
Oh my
It was so
god!
good.
Yes,
It was so much fun.
Awesome.
Yeah. So it hits exactly the right tone for 9-year-old. If it's 1994 or today, knocked out of the park. He had such a good time with it.
Oh, I love
And I
hearing
did too.
that.
But yeah, it was just like, it was great hanging out on the couch Saturday afternoon watching a movie with the kid. He loved it. It was great. We both had a good laugh at whatever they were trying to do with the boat. The stealth boat thing was hilarious.
Oh my goodness, that whole section.
Loved that.
Happening?
There was a time I had Guile's whole speech memorized.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yes.
It was great at parties. It killed because me and my friends would watch that movie all the time.
Yes.
Yeah.
I probably could not do it now, but
I won't put you on the spot. I promise.
thank you.
But yeah, it's the most fun I've had with a video game movie in a long, long time. Like it's great. It's super fun. So I guess let's from there kind of go into, we talked a little bit about how it diverges from the plot of the game to the movie. Let's kind of talk about that a little bit. Cause I saw, because there are so many think pieces and so many oral histories of this movie, because it's like this movie and Apocalypse Now for movies that went sideways when you tried to make them.
Exactly. Same category.
It's I mean, there's so many.
This and the
relations
Doctor of
between
Isle, the Isle of Dr. Moreau.
Isle of Dr. Moreau, Fitzcarraldo.
That's a good story too.
Yeah.
Okay, we can't get on that.
No,
Snuck
no.
back on set. I can't get into this. Oh,
Richard
Boy.
Stanley's a real piece of shit, but I got to give him credit for that.
yeah, absolutely. Fuck that dude, but what a story.
Boy, oh boy.
So the production challenges, is that like
Yeah.
We'll go there and
comes
then,
to
yeah.
Souza and wants him to make this movie. They keep shoveling in more characters. He has 10 weeks to film. Right, they start in Thailand. It doesn't go very well. The building that they're currently in, it's an old Coast Guard building, and it has holes in it, so they can't light properly. It's rainy season, and it's a tin roof, so they're getting no sound, and so they basically kind of waste their time in Thailand. Well, on top of that, Raul Julia shows up to his costume fitting, and he is so sick. He had just had surgery that the costume doesn't fit him. So the original plan was do all the talking scenes because he had a whole boatload of actors that didn't have fight experience, and then do all the fight scenes at the end. Well, now he can't do that. So he has to push everything Raul Julia's in until the end, except for one scene. And then when Thailand doesn't go well, he then has to go to Australia early and then cram in the same amount of time to basically make an entire movie. I think it's like, he says 7 weeks, basically.
Which is absolutely bone-breaking schedule to try and put something like this together.
And then I think he has a harder time where Jean-Claude Van Damme is partying so hard, going to Hong Kong, not showing up when he's supposed to, taking too long to do scenes that should take an hour. Because Jean-Claude Van Damme Capcom pushed him for Guile, and he was the most expensive part of their budget. Apparently, in Capcom, like in Japan, they didn't understand that he had an accent. Because he's dubbed over by the same guy all the time in Japan.
At one point, like, again, the flag tattoo. Just, I'm like, movie, don't. It's fine. We could just come up with a reason why he's Belgian, but like, don't.
Yeah, but yeah, so basically
fine.
he had to make. And so if Jean-Claude Van Damme wasn't like showing up, he either had to find other scenes to shoot or had to rewrite things. So they probably paid, I can't remember how much he got paid for this, but he got paid a huge chunk. And then he should have been in much more of the movie, but because of his lifestyle at the time, that's not what happened.
It's fascinating. Is like, so I didn't know all of the backstory, right? But I remember watching this, going like, I love Jean-Claude Van Damme. You all know me and JCVD. I love him, right? But he just like, this seems like not a great role for him, and it sounds like part of it, like he just wasn't connected. Because like, Guile's kind of boring and plain in this. Like, I feel like it's just, I would say, a waste of him. But sounds like maybe he just didn't was able to give a performance there, because I'm like, Guile's kind of like a wet towel in this. In fact, a lot of the unit, military, NATO, whatever they are,
allied nations,
the blue people,
the AN.
Allied nations, because they were supposed to be the United Nations, but somebody on their team producer asked the United Nations if they could use their name and logo, and they were like, hell no, which you just are supposed to be allowed to use it.
I'm sorry, in a movie called Street Fighter. I don't know, y'all.
Yeah.
That's hilarious that it was so much that they actively said no.
Yeah, and I think part of, other than Jean-Claude Van Damme's like partying lifestyle interfering, or just maybe not being interested, or probably also being wiped because he was doing so many movies back to back at the time. De Souza said that like he learned to meet with actors where English was not their first language and have them talk over their lines to catch times where they might get tongue-tied. So he did that with Arnold. And Arnold Schwarzenegger was like, thank you so much. This is great. So you can edit the lines, and then it's something that's easier for him to say. And Jean-Claude Van Damme was like, no, I'm not doing that. But then he would mispronounce lines or think he mispronounced things. So I imagine that even that may have played a role in how some of the dialogue was given.
Yeah.
But yeah, so De Souza was trying really hard. And then he finishes the movie. He has a hard stop. It needs to be out in time for Christmas, so they couldn't delay. And what happens? It goes to the MPAA. There was a school shooting at the time, so they give it an R rating. It was supposed to be PG-13. He knew how to hit PG-13 from working like Knight Rider, and then MPAA gives him an R. He edits. They give him a G rating.
I'm sorry.
And he's like, we can't do this. That's a kiss of death. Disney movies get G ratings. So, but it had already been reviewed 2 times. And because they gave him a lower rating, they weren't going to do it again. So they redid the line where, and I can't remember what it is, but Guile says like shit.
It was, 4 years of ROTC for this shit.
Yes.
When he's going down into the
yes.
That did it?
That did it.
So he said, hey, we think you missed something and this G rating isn't right. And the MPAA came back and was like, how dare you try to sneak this, past us? It's PG-13.
You can play them so hard. Ratings are such bullshit, y'all.
idiots.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Part of it too, where like the action then had to get cut down. So he has people who don't have the combat experience. They didn't get enough time to have decent combat experience, and then he has to edit the fighting down further. So I'm really curious what it originally like. What the
I bet there was
vision
more fighting in the Street Fighter movie. Okay, that makes sense. Instead of like a tank shows up, a thing shows up every time. I'm like, oh my god, Vega and Ryu are about to go at it. Like, oh, come on! What? I got so upset because I had forgotten.
that he just crashes in.
I'm like, oh, look at Vega's gonna be so cool. He's got his thick, luxurious brain, and his attitude. Oh man.
Well, that was the one thing did you see this? The thing with Ryu when he was in the cage fight with Vega and
Like
the
his
actor.
Interview?
The interview with so here this is the story with
okay.
Ryu, because the fight choreographer that they hired is legendary. It's Benny the Jet Urquidez, who shout out to Punches and Popcorn. Like they just lost their minds because he worked on Force 5 with Bong Joon-san, Wheels on Meals with Jackie Chan, Dragons Forever with Jackie Chan and Sammo Hung. Like he's a name amongst names. So they brought him in to do the fight training. And he had like this much time and also didn't know anything about video games. So they started doing all the fight choreography, and they realized like everybody's supposed to have a different fighting style, but they all have the same fighting style, Benny the Jet style, because he didn't realize that they were supposed to fight differently. So they looked at the dailies of the fights and went, why is everybody fighting exactly the same? Well, because you hired the guy and didn't tell him to do different things. So everybody fights the exact same. So yeah. So it gets to the point with Ryu and he's got the blade, right? So didn't have time to train the blade at all. And it comes up on the scene and the PA comes up to him and goes, all right, you're going to be shooting that scene today. You ready? And he went, do what now? Do what? I got a what now? So he found one of the guys that was on set, one of the TIE fighters that were there, had the blade. So he went to one of the stuntmen and trained with the blade with the stuntman for a couple hours before the scene. And he did the scene with the blade that the stuntman gave him, which was a real blade.
Oh my God.
And
so he trained and so what you saw with the sword flipping around and all that, he could have sliced himself to ribbons.
And it's also all he learned.
And that was it. That was it.
Oh my God. All the averted tragedies that almost happened with this film. Jeez.
This whole movie is full of that. Like the story. Did you see the thing about how Kylie Minogue ended up in there?
Yeah.
No, please tell me.
Yes, edify us.
I'm like,
no Cammy has been casted. They don't.
Yeah, there is no Cammy. He realizes they need a Cammy because initially, so going back to what KB said, like they sat down with Capcom and he sold Capcom on how many of the 7 dwarfs can you name? And they got like 5 of them. And he's like, yeah, exactly. You can't have more than 7 characters. This is crazy.
That's a genius way to sell it.
That
Apparently
really
didn't work in the long run. But...
Right.
And that's how he got the job.
Oh my God.
And
amazing.
Then they came up and
another
they had
one.
another one. So then he needed Cammy, right? So needed Cammy. They were going to Australia to shoot after they shot in Thailand because that whole thing was a nightmare. So they're going to Australia and the Australian Actors Union says, okay, cool. So, but where's your Australian actors?
Oh my God. Oh my God. So they got the most Australian person they could
He's
find.
on the flight and he opens up People magazine and she was 50 most beautiful people of 1993. He's like, well, there's Cammy.
Oh,
she did the thing. She did a good job.
She did do a good job. Like
fantastic.
And apparently in the Guardian article, like she was lovely. Like on set, like she was nice to everyone. She treated everyone to a party. Like her and Ming-Na Wen got along really well and did dinners together because they were the only 2 girls, which I recommend reading that Guardian piece because it's just an interesting piece to hear from all these different parts of this movie, but Ming-Na Wen's pieces of anytime they quote a quote from her, I'm like, this is a 10 out of 10. Because like she roasts the guys.
Oh, nice.
Like the boys are just like, yeah, it was just muscles and, trying to be stronger than the other. And she's like, no, they were wussies. I punched one in the face and he was crying. Like, and I wasn't even, I was just playing. I'm like, what an icon. That's right.
Oh, the dude's like, steaks and my first Cuban cigar. And like, yeah. No, I punched him and cried.
Whips.
Fascinating listening to how like haphazard some of this casting was and having to keep jamming in characters, because I'll give you this, the movie, like every character has at least one okay, again, maybe not T-Hawk, I'm sorry T-Hawk, I just feel like you got at the very end, but every other character has at least a thing they do, if not several things, where it's like, like to juggle them all is amazing. I think it was really smart to separate little chunks of groups, like you have the military, not UN people, and that's like 3 characters. You have you have Cammy and Honda and
Chun-Li.
Chun-Li and
sorry, Chun-Li.
Balrog, who's totally not Mike Tyson.
Yeah,
that works together. Like he pulled off the hair. Holy crap. And then, yeah, right. Every time. And then you have like Bison and his thing. And then even tying in and that's how you get Delzim and
Zangie.
Yeah.
Blanca.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Blanca slash Charlie.
Yeah. Oh yeah, slash Charlie. That's 2 characters in one.
Yeah, they just put 2 characters in one.
Fascinating. But they are all digestible chunks of a story. Considering they just kept jamming characters in there. I'm like, oh no, they have a thing. Oh, and then Ken and Ryu, who are just, I guess, traveling chaos brothers, but it works. Oh, and then they bring in Vega and
Sagat.
And Sagat. Like they blah, 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 blah. Like it all kind of it works better than it should, but knowing that he was a screenwriter first, that makes sense. Because I think, okay, this is someone who worked very hard to make things make sense as much as a Street Fighter game movie that is being filmed in the worst conditions can. Yeah. You can say what's happening most of the time.
The fact that you understand who these people are at all is really a testament. Yeah. Because again, 7 characters, right? What do we end up with just talking about there? 14?
Oh God. Yeah, it's Megan who knows the characters, and yet I can't keep that many names in my head. I'm like, this guy, bald, stretchy guy, green guy.
15. Wow, that was a hell of a guess. Yeah, 15 then.
That was amazing. And then they also eventually get into their costumes one way or another, whether it's Chun-Li, I don't know why they had that outfit there and I don't want to ask. Honda, where all of a sudden his hair is up and he's shirtless. I'm like, bravo, because it was an explosion, right? Oh, he had to put up his hair.
His Dalsim with the chains. I was like,
because he was a prisoner. I was going why is it so thick? Oh, because that's what boom. And apparently there's more scenes that explain that the chemicals hit him and that's why he's bald. But I love the idea that he just shows up bald because he will. Do they have money for stretchy limbs? No. Deal with it. Why is Blanca in it so little? Money. Shut up. Right. Okay.
That was the kid's only complaint, is that he's a Dalsim main.
And
the whole movie, where's my guy? Where's my guy? Where's my guy? And I was like,
and you're like, it's that guy, and he's like, what? Yeah, he's that dude right there.
And just to do a good Dalsim cameo, doing some backseat directing storytelling here. All you really need is him having a henchman stuck in a corner, and he's just stretchy arm punching him. That's how everybody plays Dalsim.
Just that one little,
That is 100% how he plays him. I will tell you that for free. It's very frustrating.
It's cheesy, but it's effective.
It sure is.
Yeah, which kind of cracked me up because in certain places I think he could have, and it might have been, it's too little too late based on how this production was going, but it felt like he had to put a Captain Sawada in there. That guy didn't need to be in there, right?
Mm-hmm.
He had
I can't even remember.
He was when they were storming the place, they just give him a little shout out because apparently that guy was Capcom wanted him to play Ryu because he was Japanese, but he didn't know English, or his English was very limited.
Fascinating. Okay.
Yeah, DeSouza said basically that part of the casting process was that he had to get rid of surnames because Capcom wanted, Japanese Japanese actors.
Oh,
and
yeah,
so
okay.
like, the gentleman that played Ryu was not Japanese. And so like
They had
he had to like fit that guy back in there. And then also the henchman that was with Dulcine. I was like, he's kind of giving Zangief vibes.
Oh,
like I'm glad Zangief was
in the
doing
lab.
Zangief, but like, who is this big clown, right? So there are certain things where I'm sure he would have made some other changes if he had known up front that he had to have that many characters.
Oh yeah, it was just like, oh crap, another one. I can't imagine every day like, all right, like I've run out of fingers and there's still more characters. This is a problem.
Yeah. What a masterpiece.
It really is.
Yeah. Who was the character they added in? So they did a video game adaptation of this movie, and they added in a character to the video game that is movie only. I don't think he's ever been brought in. I think it's the captain.
There's like two. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna guess it's not this, but I really hope it was the British guy played by Simon Calla, who's one of my favorite like character actors, because he plays like a British, like I will over enunciate my over enunciation. He's the one who's like, you have to shut it down, Guile. And I was like, they should have made him a fighting character.
Yes,
I would love that. And he just like pulls out a clipboard anytime, like as his special.
Yeah. We have shut this down.
Yes.
Buries you under paperwork. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, let's think outside the box here, people.
Exactly. Yeah.
I love that guy comes up just apropos of nothing. Like no one's mentioned his existence once, and then
never
it's
has this been an issue. Yeah.
No, just this random Rolls Royce piles in. These three very, very British looking people pile out.
I feel like I could just see the screen that like he's writing, Susan's writing, and he's going like, okay, so I need another incident. Like it can't just because obviously why haven't they stormed it Bison's thing yet? And they also had to make like Guile like a rebel badass, even though he is an authority figure. So I feel like this was literally just one more. Because I'm like, what's stopping him from going now? He's in charge of this group of people. They could go in, but they had to add that one more. Now he's a rebel. No, that's his job. Like he's doing his job right now. You can't rebel and be doing the thing you're supposed to be doing anyway.
It could also be. I'm going to throw out an alternate theory based on other stuff that I read in the articles where they ran behind in filming. So he's like, so I'll just steal from John Ford and we're a day behind. I'll just find this page in the script and tear it out. No, we're on time again.
Yep.
Sounds about right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So. I mean, that guy could have had an entire character arc, like family, who knows? That just
he's good enough actor. I know everything about him in a little time. Like, you know what? I'm sold. Yeah. I'm sold on this guy.
Was laughing at the woman who was with him, who like we see her twice, just running with her heels in her hands.
Yeah.
Oh my God!
It's like blink and you miss it. But she's just in there like with all the people like running with her heel in her hand, trying to catch up. And then she's at the dock with them, just shoe in hand.
Oh, so it's the opposite Jurassic World.
I was just thinking that.
That's right. That's right.
That's how we evolved over 30 years. Is that Bryce Dallas Howard could figure out how to run with the heels on.
Yeah.
Ray. Not to put you on the spot. He said, what is your favorite part of this film that is probably explained by taking out a script page or running out of money or having to jam a character in that wasn't part of the original plan?
You know what? I think it's probably whenever Ryu and Kin do their signature moves, the Hadoken and the Chiryuken. And it's just like it's not even they didn't even have like any special effects for it. It's just a screen flash.
Yeah.
Like young me loved that so much. Adult me is like, okay, I know the bar is low, guys, but
you just want a little something,
little
make it special.
Something.
Okay. Deduct Jean-Claude Van Damme's pay by whatever, like a couple of months that he didn't show up, and put it in a fireball. Yeah. That's all we need. Yeah, okay. We did it in The Last Dragon. We could do it in here.
Oh, you're right. They needed the glow. If they can rotoscope that shit, I've seen it.
You know what's fascinating?
You're telling me none of these folks are more powerful than Leroy? Actually, maybe not. He's pretty powerful. Sorry, Ray, continue. I'm going to have to decide who's more powerful, The Last Dragon or Street Fighters.
Oh, that's a good question. Okay,
Hmm.
but like, so knowing how much like JCVD just kind of fucked off on this movie and partied his way through it, did you all know he wanted to make a sequel? Like, he was
Oh, I
one of
would
the
have
big
watched that.
voices pushing for a
I
sequel
had
for
heard
it.
that. It was like something like 2003. Like it was
Yeah,
sometime
that's
after.
yeah.
Yeah. But
He
then
wanted to do
Universal sold the rights.
yeah, he wanted to do a sequel movie that was like still on Guile, but it also like brought out more of Ken and Ryu and like their like roaming chaos goblin energy. Because I mean, which I'm a
Hmm.
huge Ken fan. Like he's my favorite. He's my main. And I'm just like, I'm here for it. I want that movie of just, these two chaos goblins going around and just like picking fights.
Oh, let's not get in trouble this time, Ken. I don't know, Ryu. I mean, here's the thing. I love that. I don't know if that's actually.
No, that
I'm a
is what I'm
chaos
saying.
crap
The way it
goblin.
goes is like they're like, yeah, let's go into this place. We're gonna start some trouble, just to fight the strong guy, and then it's gonna like escalate into like this big destructive thing. But here's the thing: the movie didn't bring up. Ken is fucking loaded. Like he is like Tony Stark meets Batman loaded in the games. And
Ken.
so the way he solves problems, like in the anime that they did off of this and most of the shows, is whenever they cause trouble, Ken pays his way out of it. He just kind of like writes a check and
I
throws
love
it
it.
in the leaves.
I love
Very
it.
yeah.
Yeah.
I had no idea that was his gimmick. That's
Yeah,
amazing.
that's
Oh,
his
why
gimmick.
didn't they? They
He
should
and
have brought
Ryu
that up in this.
he and Ryu are a lot of the same character, except Ryu's like this poor orphan boy who struggles with like this chi demon inside of him. And Ken is just loaded. His daddy paid his way to help him train at like this greatest like guru in the world at
Oh.
fighting. And they both like learned the same fighting style and became friends. And yeah. And Ken's like his sugar mama, sugar daddy.
Yeah, he's got
Oh,
his beautiful blonde wife at home and his roaming homeless boyfriend out in the streets. Like,
oh, see, that's your story right there.
That's
Yeah.
the dream. Good
Hey,
grief.
hey, baby, I'm going to be gone for a couple months. If you get a call from some sort of jail, it's probably me.
in Street Fighter 2, the animated movie, like Ken's whole thing is like he's longing for Ryu, who is out traveling. Like he's got his beautiful like wifey, and
Yeah,
he's just
but-
like, she's like, oh yeah, he's like, yeah, we'll get married soon. Like, and and she's like, she's like,
Amazing.
what are you thinking about? He's like, I'm fine. I'll see you
Oh my
later.
God.
It's to him like daydreaming
Oh my
about
God.
him and Ryu growing up. It's very like
Oh my God. I love it.
I can't recommend it enough.
Oh yeah. The animated movie, which I know we're not talking about, came out the same year. And it is so good if you want to get into like the lore. It is so good at doing that. Like the fight scenes are phenomenal because it's animated.
Yep.
But yeah, no, it's very good. And Ken and Ryu are definitely historically accurate roommates. That's
Aw. I love these boys even more. I love that.
they
Oh,
are
here's- no, but-
they are the embodiment of what I love most about Street Fighter is like, you see a fascist dictator and you can just put on your karate gi and beat his ass.
Yeah. Okay, here I have a question for us all. And this
Okay.
is just movie, right?
Okay.
Not the character you played who's your favorite character in this movie?
Hmm.
And why is it
comes off,
Zangief?
I'd say who comes off the best. But what I mean,
Mhm.
listen, damn it, Ray, you stole mine. But okay, I'll come with another one. Yeah, go ahead, Ray. Say why Zangief, the best character, is the best character.
Because he's got the best lines. I mean, he's the other half of the Godzilla fight scene with E Honda.
I'm not gonna argue because you're right.
And I think like my close second behind that is DJ. Because DJ
Yeah.
is like probably the smartest character in the movie. Like he's
That one
hacking
scene-
into
yeah.
like global satellites to like run personal feeds. He knows instantly whenever they're being traced.
Yeah.
But like, at the end of the movie where there's sieges happen, like he's talking to Zangief and he's like, you know this is all bullshit, right? Like this money's not worth anything. And he's like, what? I can't
I
remember
should
this.
have never left Microsoft.
Yeah.
Well, DJ's like, I'm doing because like this is the one where Zangief's like, we have to go out and fight the enemies of peace and joy. And DJ's like, yo, Bison's a dictator. He's the enemy of stuff. And Zangief's like, why do you work? And he's like, I got paid like so much money. And Zangief's like, you got paid?
Yeah.
My favorite DJ scene is you have one where like Bison's in the foreground, right? And he's talking about how like, this is about something, and we're gonna stay in and we're gonna fight, and it's not about, and you just see DJ going, nope, like he doesn't say anything, but instantly you know the kind of character he is because he's like, I'm not down for this. What I was here for is not happening anymore. I'm just gonna, and he just quietly fades in the back. I'm like, mwah, mwah, fantastic, love that stuff.
Yeah, love it. It's phenomenal. So yeah, Zangief and DJ. Those are my two favorites.
They're good henchmen. You need quality henchmen, right? And for M. Bison, you need the best. If you're gonna like be in that space,
brain in the muscle, check.
Exactly. Yeah.
All right. Others have to go before me, not for any reason.
Man, you want to
go?
I'm fine.
I'll take a shot at it. I'm going to go with Bison. I think Raul Julia is incredible in this movie. He knows exactly what movie he's in. And he is menacing and hysterical in every single moment. Like every bit of what he does is hilarious and sometimes chilling. And sometimes he is maybe the best villain that this movie could have. Like on the money every 100. Single time, 100. The whole thing. For you, it was the worst day of your life. For me, it was Tuesday.
I mean, people know that and have not seen this film.
Yep.
That's how good the line is. Got to give D'Souza credit for that. And two, the delivery of it. It'll live beyond us all. No one will remember the movie. No one will remember Earth, but they will remember. But for me, it was Tuesday. Oh,
I do put a shout out that Bison scene. So I do love this scene so much. The beginning where he's like having like these not UN soldiers run at him, and then he just like breaks their necks like nothing. Like you're like, okay, sets the tone. This is a Looney Tunes movie. But then like he gets the feed from Guile, and Guile's doing the up yours, and like he has this close up, and he just has this eye twitch, and I'm like, that is so good. That's such a good choice. And
it's almost like a Marty Feldman thing. It's so good.
Yes. I love that one where he's talking about, is it Bisonopolis? Is he calling it?
Yes, it's Bisonopolis.
Bisonopolis. So he's I love that he had an entire like little miniature built because like he cares, right? And I love that he's staying there and he's talking about how like, okay, we're gonna want the food court bigger because all the companies,
all the franchises are gonna want in. That was the
and then
part
he does this,
where I lost it because we got to make it bigger because all the franchises are gonna want in.
He's not wrong.
It was genius.
And they have this great shot then where he's walking around the miniature, and you haven't quite seen the whole miniature, right? He's walking around and he's talking about how, like, I'm not doing this for evil. I'm not creating super soldiers. I'm doing it for good because then I will bring them on. They will emerge from my lab and take on every country until everything is crushed and under my benevolent control. And then he goes, it'll be Pax Bisonica. And then yes, and then the camera goes up and goes around, and then you see that like the main building of this Opolis is a skull, like this weird skull helmet, and I'm like, yes, movie, yes, it knows exactly what it's doing, and it's
My favorite of his that hasn't been mentioned was when he's talking about his bison dollars and Sagat's getting mad, and he's just like very calmly saying like, don't worry, it'll be $5 to every like $1 of the pound after I steal the Queen of England. Like
just like the most matter of fact.
Like get on my level, see the vision. Yes. Like he's just, and the fact that he asked for $20 billion because I feel like he's not playing around. Every other movie I feel like I watched as a kid, they're asking for millions. No, he knows his worth. I need $20 billion.
Yeah,
and I will be stealing the Queen of England.
Of course.
And that's it. Like,
and I believe him. I believe him all the way.
Yeah. The last bit I loved about him. I mean, I could go for the entire every bit of screen time he has is gold. But There's the moment where he's changing his clothes in his bedroom when he's talking
Oh my
to
God.
Chun-Li.
Oh yeah.
And he
Oh my
goes around
God.
and he takes off the suit and he puts on the like
The robe, right?
brocade
The dressing
smoking
room.
jacket.
Yes.
Why does he
And,
have
like,
this?
And then he takes the one stupid hat off. Like he's got
Yes.
and then he goes with the nightwear version of that hat with the same brim, same thing,
Oh,
but it's red
yes.
velvet.
Yes.
Mhm.
We're getting cozy. Okay, this
'Cause
is a smoking hat and a smoking
Yeah.
jacket.
Yes, it's casual evening wear with
It
the
felt
Oh,
it felt very evil dictator Mr. Rogers to me, and
Yes.
that's
oh
that's,
yeah.
that's
It's
the vibe I
nighttime.
want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
nighttime.
Yeah.
It's time to luxuriate a little. He deserves it.
It's
It's
so
been a
it's got
long day.
And if I'm
the
not
red
mistaken, they don't show his head, right? Like without the hat.
No.
It's always
I don't think
It's
you ever.
always
You're
he's
right.
always yeah,
which is
'cause it's
such a good like
Yeah.
directorial choice.
Mm.
Yeah.
God. He's so
All right,
great.
KP. I mean, listen, M. Bison almost feels like cheating as the best character because I feel like I should have said, except M. Bison, of course. That's on me. That's on me.
I had to
No,
get it in because we haven't really
Yes.
done any M. Bison
Yeah.
representation yet, and it needed to happen
Yeah.
because
Yes.
God,
Yeah.
he is such a great part of this film.
So good.
Yes.
He is, yeah.
Sorry,
So
KP.
KP. Yeah.
All right,
Oh,
I'm gonna be basic. I'm gonna say Chun-Li. I just think Ming-Na Wen is like absolutely wonderful. I think
Mhm.
like other than Raul Julia as Bison, like she's the perfectly casted person in this movie.
absolutely.
Yep.
She's
She
basically the other lead. Like we kind of, I
Yes.
think because they didn't, Guile was not there
Yeah,
for some
she got
shooting.
the-
She
some
becomes the
extra.
lead. Yeah.
yeah, and
Mhm.
like I just think it's interesting. She's passionate. Like I do like the change that he made, where like she's a journalist, because like I think that that's an interesting take, because like she's like an Interpol agent in the game.
Yeah.
So I think like her being a journalist is like great. She just knows what she wants to do. She's about to get that revenge, and she's going to take her two guys along with her to make it happen, and like sneaks in and is like, I know DJ is the smartest, but I think she's like right after him.
Oh, yeah.
In terms
Yeah.
of
Oh,
like
yeah.
planning and scheming and
She has morals, so that might, like DJ, but with morals.
Yes. And so just nothing funny. But just like I think she did a great job. 10 out of
Yeah.
10.
I love how
Yeah.
she like her response to her village getting destroyed by this dictator was to become a successful journalist to track him down freely
Yeah.
and easily move into his compound with these two
And she also
guys
said,
that
like,
she
learn every martial art. Like, she literally said, like, I learned every martial art, or like most martial arts. Also got a journalism degree.
Yeah.
Amazing.
She's busy. She's
broke
intelligent.
these guys in with a 6-pack of beer and a pizza. And so yeah, they're my muscle
Yes.
that I really don't need, but
Yeah, like I love their bro energy, you know?
Oh, when they do the little show, like they're putting on the show, and E Honda's laying down, and he's like thinking he's about to get cut open. He's like, no.
Yeah, they get a lot of characterization in that little trio that you go, oh yeah, like I buy that they've been working together, and also they all can fight at a next level. Like who knew? Like I know why Chun-Li does, but why the other two? Who knows? And who cares? Like it's just
Yeah.
important. I think just at one point Ihana says like he mentions that he's studied sumo once, and that's fine. I don't need more explanation than that.
Oh, when he's chill about getting whipped. Or
Yeah.
like
Yes.
Yeah, just
Yes.
unbothered.
Unbothered. That's right. That was fun. Oh God! All right, so everyone took all my favorites.
Yeah, it's your
That's
turn.
fine.
We've established there's 15 different characters for you to
Yeah.
choose from.
Well, I do think what I will end up with, and I think Ken and Ryu together. Like you cannot separate them. They are an interesting thread that takes us through. Also, I have a soft spot for, I mean, we're bad guys, but really we're stealing from the bad guys. So like, we're not actually bad. Like those guys are lovable rogues. Lovable rogues are always fun. Plus you have that moment where like, they're like leaving as the, I love that M. Bison, his lair is both industrial, but also an ancient temple. I love the aesthetics of that. But anyway, they're leaving. It's about to blow up. And then like Ryu's like, oh, I'm going back. Because I like basically like he's found meaning now, which makes sense because he'd be the character who did that first. That's kind of a little bit of his original character. And Ken's all like, I don't get it. I'm out of here. But of course, they're bros. So later when Ken's watching the monitor and he sees Ryu, he's like, oh no, Vega's there. Oh no, he's gonna get beat up. He's like, well, I guess I gotta show up for my bro. And there they are fighting back to back. And then they have their game uniforms on now, because in this world, that's what Bison dressed some of his guys out. So they peel off the Bison patches, and then like Ryu also takes off the top because he has to be game accurate at this point. And then they are bros fighting game accurate. It was beautiful. And then Ken has that great line where it's, oh God, what's his name? I'm sorry, I gotta no. Sagat. Sorry, Wet Duty. You're an amazing actor. This is not your fault. Where like they're leaving, and then Ken looks back at Sagat and he says, "I want to thank you, because if I hadn't seen this, I would have become you." And I'm like, yeah. Ken also has a soul. He's also learned. He'll always be behind Ryu on that, but he catches up with his bro. So anyway, that is also one of my favorite characters. They're definitely not farther down the list. This is my original choice.
Of course.
I think it's very telling that, the main character whose face is just like the main front of this video release is nobody's favorite character.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, man. Listen, I love you as an actor. This is not your role, my man. This is not Bloodsport.
The other thing I kind of want to slip in about Sagat is that he's supposed to be a Muay Thai like champion, like very well known, and the casting.
They don't do anything with that.
Nope.
No.
Yeah,
and he's more Ryu's rival. So,
yeah. In fact, like he's got in the game, he has a big scar on his chest from Ryu doing the Shoryuken like right across his chest and permanently scarring him, and so now he like permanently hates Ryu.
And they'll do it.
Yeah.
Understandable.
I mean, it's justified, but yes, they're the original ones to have the beef, not Ken.
I did notice the one thing. There's the one fight where they're setting up the fight with Vega and Ryu, and Vega takes his mask off. I'm like, why are you doing this? The entire thing is he doesn't want to ruin his face.
Yeah.
He has to keep. I understand why, probably because the guy probably doesn't want to do fight choreography with a metal mask on. Probably a pain in the ass. But I was like, no, you have to stay accurate to the character. He is beautiful.
He knocked his mask off though, like in the game.
Oh well, yeah, but he didn't knock off. He took it off, KP. He did it on purpose.
Yeah, it's also not metal, I don't think, in the game. So.
Yeah, no, it almost looks like ceramic in the game, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yep.
Listen, he's got style. What are you gonna do?
Style and flair. Yeah, you want to watch a good fight scene with him? Go watch that Street Fighter 2 animated movie. Chun-Li whoops his butt.
That fight scene. Yep.
Well, I love in this movie the one person. Like I know we had the final fight with like Guile and Bison, but like Chun-Li had him. If her friends hadn't come here, like we've come to save you. I'm like, she almost actually ended this now. Yep. She kicked his ass, which was nice because I think that works for the character. Like, I was like, no. She of a lot of these, she should be someone who can take Bison. Absolutely. Yep. She has the personal reason. I know they tried to give Guile a personal reason. They tried real hard with that Charlie, Carlos, Blanca thing, but it just doesn't hit.
The way I laughed so hard when like we know that Guile cares about Charlie just because he says like, Charlie, I'm coming for you, right on TV. But then like we have to have a quick flashback, like him putting in doesn't he put in like literally a video of them with two women at dinner?
I was like, why? We already know.
Which also,
I get
who's
it.
shooting that and why? You're just sitting at dinner. There's nothing going on.
I was like, I thought you didn't have time for everything. Why do we have time for this?
This is nothing.
That sounds like a like 3 a.m. decision by a coked out JCVD calling me like, hey, I've been reading over this one page.
Yeah.
And I really want to make it abundantly clear that they aren't a couple.
You're right.
We can read between the line. Excuse me.
Yeah.
I thought it was probably just asking him asking for more time, even though he wasn't showing up to actually be in the film. All of a sudden, he's like, "Am I not in the film a lot?"
It's because really, it was just paparazzi footage of him at dinner with that guy. And they're just like, we're gonna get him in this movie one
it.
way or another, so use that.
Yeah.
That's the one time the film slows down a bit for me, because I was watching. I'm like, this moves. Like it doesn't really have connective tissue, and it doesn't need it, right? But all of a sudden, he's like in the boat, and all of a sudden, that's the one time I'm like, am I looking at my phone? What happened? Movie, what happened?
Yeah, why
You lost
this?
me for a second.
Why
Yeah.
this? And now
We've already established it. I'm good. Whatever he needs to, beat up M. Bison, and the 2 or 3 times it takes, because oh my god, M. Bison's suit, it has like its own little defibrillator in there. It brings him back to life.
Yeah.
Oh, it does a little chest and it goes ka-kunk, ka-kunk. I'm like, movie, okay, I'm back in love with you. You lost me for a second, but I'm back in.
It's adorable.
And then it's the end where you get that great, like, very much Flash Gordon ending, where like you have literally the hand, Bison's hand through the monitors, and then he resets the computer to rule domination, and it says what, retry?
Yes.
I was like, okay, there you go, movie. That's how you do that kind of. The sequel we'll never get, but I
mean, I love the fact that they thought they were gonna get it though. Like,
oh yeah.
I appreciate the hubris on that.
Yeah, you got it. You're making a film with 15 main characters.
Yeah,
you got a little hubris.
You got to have a second movie to contain them all. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I'd say you could do the Mortal Kombat thing, but we know how Annihilation turned out.
Yeah.
I like Annihilation better than the first.
You know what? We got to bring Ray back and have a good
Ray,
fight.
you're coming back, bud.
No, not even a fight. No, I just want to hear thoughts. That's all.
That's funny. KT is like, I want to hear you. I'm like, Ray, I guess we're fighting.
I want to do that show. Like, I'm excited about that.
Maybe we'll do a double, because we did the new Mortal Kombat.
We did the new Mortal Kombat, and we did the original Mortal Kombat, but we did not do anything in between.
So I got to ask this. Are you going to do an episode over the reboot of Street Fighter, The Legend of Chun-Li?
Oh, Ray, I want to hear your thoughts.
I was going to say, we haven't discussed it. We may be able to get it out of the way right now if you'd like, Ray.
Yeah. Save us the trouble.
Laura brought up that I am not afraid of an unpopular stance on pop culture because
oh my god,
don't hate the Beatles.
Hey, everyone, 1 second, right? Everyone, don't ask Ray about the Beatles because we can't afford the heat. Okay, I'm just saying, we've been living with the heat, and I don't need this. Okay, so anyway, hey, Ray, okay, you can listen again.
Legend of Chun-Li. I really liked the main actress. I loved her on Smallville. Kristen Krug. Yeah. That's about as positive as I can get about that movie. Like, they did try to stay a little closer to the source material, but like it's a prime example of followed the source material, did not get the vibe. And the cast on that, they had, I feel really sorry for I have to look up who the Bison guy they got. It was Neil McDonough. They got poor Neil McDonough to be Bison.
He's usually good and stuff.
That's wild casting.
It's very wild casting because Bison's like a 7-foot tall, black-haired dictator, and I don't think Neil McDonough is ever in Bison uniform. He also did not dye his hair. He's got blonde hair throughout the whole thing.
So he's just Neil McDonough?
With his like ice blue eyes. Yeah. And he's not in uniform. How do you know who he is? Do they constantly call him M. Bison?
They call him M. Bison. Yeah. and, like, he has like scenes put in that they like thrust him being evil onto the audience. Like, one of his hinge people fail him, and so he like there's a scene of them like punching like a dummy of them, like who's like strung up, and like somebody comes in and talks to him like while he's like punching this, and it's just like, oh, you're really hammering down that, hey, he's a bad dude. Whenever they just like no subtlety to the movie whatsoever. Guile's not in it. We get Charlie, who's a cop.
Oh, yeah.
Wait, was that a positive? That Guile's not in it?
You get Michael Clark Duncan as Balrog. Now
that's a good
one. But then that Taboo from the Black Eyed Peas is Vega. Get out of here.
Everybody's Black Eyed Peas Taboo.
What the? I'm sorry, did you say early 2000s on this? That's the most early 2000 thing I've ever heard.
Late 2000, 2009.
I'm curious.
Okay.
Was Apple D app busy? Is that how they got taboo, or what happened?
I have never watched this movie, which kills me because Chun-Li, obviously iconic women in gaming. Like,
Don't watch this movie. Like,
yeah, and I just always have avoided this because I was like, I don't.
It's-
Nothing about this seems like a good time.
it is not a fun movie at all.
Oh.
Like, they really they really go into the Chun-Li backstory and like do that part of it justice.
Yeah,
But it's just not.
everything else.
And they
doesn't sound fun.
And it's another one that they were like trying to set up a sequel for it with like they were going to bring in Ryu and Ken for the sequel. Yeah, Ryu and Ken aren't even in it. And it's just it's
Hey, do you want to see a better film? Watch this so we get a sequel. That's a weird way to sell a film.
But I mean, it was very popular at that time. They were like pushing sequels so hard.
Yeah. It's the Patton Oswalt thing, right? Oh, you like ice cream? Here's rock salt and some milk.
Exactly.
Ray, thank you for saving us. In case anyone in our audience, we've saved you. You're welcome.
Well,
unless it's too late, then we're sorry.
Well, listen,
we're only human. Mostly.
They're working on a new Street Fighter movie that supposedly I think should be out. It has a date for next year.
Oh.
Ooh. I'll tune into that because I sat through Legend of Chun-Li, so that means I would clearly sit through.
At this point,
yeah,
listen, I'll be there. Oh, well, I will say this: like for video game movies, I think a lot of the times they've been like panned critically. Like when they first release, they have maybe they become cult classics, or the audience enjoys them. But I feel like we're getting to a point with the number of good video game movies we have, I'm knocking on wood here, is increasing, okay?
Yeah.
Like, we're getting there.
Yeah. Listen, it took us a while, but
there's a groove. But yes.
I think what happened was, and you see it a lot when you see them interviewing folks that made these 90s video games movies, where they were like, we don't even know what video games are.
Yeah.
Like so many people when they interview them, like, the Mario Brothers movie where Bob Hoskins was like, my kid plays it, I guess, so I'll be in it, or like this one when I was reading and the guy who played Ryu was like, I didn't know what Street Fighter was until I was halfway into it, and like, and that was it. Like,
there's no passion.
But I think it's evolved where the people that are making these movies now have played the games or have some familiarity or like,
they're in the culture. Like, do you live here on the planet right now? Then you probably are familiar with video games.
3 masterpiece Sonic movies.
Who would have
I
thought?
still gotta watch those, man. I gotta watch
so
them.
good.
Megan, I think you'd really like them.
It's like one of those things where you'll like it and you just still haven't gotten around. And now there's 3 of them, and I feel the weight of the Sonics on me. Like every time I see like a clip or a picture, I'm like, oh, I bet I like that. But oh man, 3 films. Like at this point, maybe it's passed me by, y'all.
There's 3 movies and a TV show spinoff.
Oh yeah.
I can't.
I haven't watched Knuckles either.
It's too much. Good.
Yeah, it's good, I guess. I haven't seen it, which is a shame because Knuckles is my favorite character. Yeah. I have something for Red and secondary characters. I can't. I don't know.
No, I get that. Growing up, it was my brother who is 4 years older than me, my cousin who is 5 years older than me, and me. So it's 2 boys and 1 girl. So the 2 of them would always fight over who got to be like the protagonist, who got to be the secondary, and then girl.
Yeah.
That sounds like me at the arcade at the X-Men. I guess I'll be Dazzler.
Yeah.
No, I love Dazzler.
Yeah,
that was always open and it was at the end. Yeah. I don't have to know what I'm doing. You're just happy someone's playing her. Now I'm like, put respect on her name. Like I feel like I came in a different way. Like, no, respect Dazzler. But at the time, I'm a girl. I'm playing Dazzler.
You being
staying away from the 2 assholes at the other end throwing elbows at each other for Wolverine. Yeah.
Yeah, right. I was like, I don't want to be at that end. That's too I don't understand. I get it. He seems cool. I'm not going to get violent over him, please. Anyway, Dazzle.
Yes.
Woohoo!
But eventually we settled into a thing where my brother always was like the main, like Ryu or, Liu Kang or whatever. And then my cousin was always like, had his fondness for the secondary character like Ken or Knuckles or anything like that. So it's like,
it's settled. Like it could, It couldn't be violence forever. There had to be peace or some sort of Pax Bisonica.
There it is.
Yeah.
I need to get a T-shirt just for
That is
me. Pax Bisonica.
So as we enter the piece of Pax Bisonica, any final thoughts about Street Fighter 1994? Any of the other Street Fighter media that you'd suggest people check out? Or just
I'll go first because I don't have any other thing. I'm not deep enough into it. We've got true experts over here. Okay, I can't compete with Ray and KP. I can't compete with you, Matt. So I'm gonna go with me, someone who just has seen the movie and enjoys it, played the game sometimes. Always Chun-Li, of course. I'm a girl. And I was gonna spinning bird kick as much as I wanted to. It's a fun film. I think it's just genuinely fun. You turn it on and you're surprised at how well it still plays. It's just, I love that you watched it on a Saturday morning because I think that sounds like just the right time. And before we go, I just want to say I love the idea that Raul Julia, this was like his last film, and he did it for his kids. His kids love the game. So, like, besides just being an incredible actor, I also think that he's doing this. My kids love this thing, and I'm going to put my love for my kids into M. Bison. And like, not to make myself cry over the Street Fighter movie, but I fucking love that. I think that's just amazing. And how dare such a beautiful idea be wrapped up in this film? And yet that's life, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So Street Fighter, it's a thing, and there's more others of it. And let's talk to other people who are smarter about it, that know the thing. Go for the thing.
I can't follow that. So KP, Ray, what do you got?
KP, do you want to go first? I can go last if you'd like.
Sure, yeah, because you can bring us on home. Echoing Megan, absolutely fantastic movie, really good fun time. Yes, the bits about Raul Julia break my heart. But what a beautiful thing out of something so silly. And if you are interested in more Street Fighter like stories other than playing the games, Street Fighter 2, the animated movie, like Ray said, came out that same year. Highly recommend Street Fighter V, I think is the TV. Street Fighter 2 V is an animated show that I recommend as well. Yeah.
Yeah, you got to be careful whenever you're looking up the Street Fighter show. Because there's Street Fighter V, which is the anime that is like really good. Like every character has such great moments, and like I think a lot of them have like dedicated episodes.
Yep.
And like Dhalsim does such a great job of like being like the spiritual guidance for Ryu, or at least fighting his inner demons and stuff. And they also introduced like the best character in the series, one of my favorites, which is Akuma, who's just this like chi demon guy who's like fully given into the evil, and he exists just to be the strongest, and he just goes around finding people to beat up. And like it's such a great character. Like I love that motivation. But there's also the Street Fighter Saturday morning cartoon TV show. That's what I'm calling it.
Yes.
Well, it is, because it's very G.I. Joe-esque. Guile and Cammy, and I think Chun-Li as well, like they have like this like hidden secret underground organization where they are like hunting and trying to stop Bison, but they can't be out in public for some ludicrous reason. So they have to be these covert agents who go around and like start street fights with like Bison's people. And that's like the vehicle for the show. And it like has a huge cast. Doesn't really explain them because they're like, you've played the game, you know these characters. There's the green guy, there's the guy in the red gi, and there's the guy in the white gi. And like Blanca can talk in it, I think, which is wild because in the games he's like blah, 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 blah. So yeah, I'm selling this animated show whenever I told you don't watch it, but
I was gonna say now I kind of want to watch it.
The quality is not the level of Street Fighter 2V. That's true. Vibes.
But if you are interested in it, I think the entire series is free on YouTube. So not sure it's pirated or not. I don't think anybody cares about the rights for it anymore. But yeah.
Do whatever you feel doing legally, everybody. Our hands are washed. Anomaly has no idea what you're doing. We can't see you right now.
That's right.
Exactly.
I got us. Don't worry.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Well, I think that just about brings us to a close on Street Fighter. So thank you very much for listening.
Thank
Ray,
you.
Yes.
Yeah.
do you have anything you'd like to talk about? What are you working on?
Oh gosh, so many things. I do TTRPG stuff. I make like one page little TTRPG games. Like one of my famous ones is Three Baddies and a Baby, where a bunch of supervillains who are trying to pay their rent on their secret lair are planning a heist whenever one of their relatives drops off their kid for them to watch, and the kid has like chaotic superpowers that activate whenever you fail your rolls. So that's fun. There's also one called Apocalypse Wow, that is where you play different versions of Owen Wilson's characters who are trying to stop the end of the world.
Genius level, Ray. Ray, you do genius work.
Thank you. But outside of that, I also run a $2 creature feature, which is an actual play, like supernatural monster of the week kind of show. It's an anthology, so you can jump in on whichever season, 1, 2, or 3. They're all different settings. The first setting is in kind of the 60s in a traveling circus. The second season is focused on a small town in the Chesapeake Bay area called Jupiter Hollow. That's one where Megan joined us on our cast.
Yeah, can't get rid of me now, suckers.
And she does a phenomenal job. I mean, the whole cast does, but you all know Megan pretty well, so I'm just going to shout out Megan right now.
Oh boy.
And then season 3, we kind of take the magic out of the game, and so now it's more X-Files like kind of fringe vibes. So yeah, it's good. I biasly saying it's good. So
yeah, it's good. It's good, wholesome fun. Okay, we swear sometime.
Well,
we do swear.
As someone who's listened to $2 Creature Feature and needs to finish the second season, very enjoyable. Love putting it on. Very fun. Great character work. It's so enjoyable. I just love throwing it on when I'm like doing my chores and enjoying a fun, interesting story and see what you guys cook up.
Oh, thank you.
Yes.
And do you have a website or a social media handle you want to throw out there?
Yeah, I'm on Blue Sky. You can find me on there as just Mr. Ray, like all one word, 2 R's. I think I have my link to my itch there. If you want to try out RPGs, that's there for you.
They all sound super fun.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, I've played a couple. They're wild in the best way. That baby's trouble, y'all. I'm just trying to be a villain, and it's a baby chaos. Especially the Christmas version we did.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And Megan did the art for all of the Three Baddies and a Babies, which I love. Awesome. Eventually, like it swaps, and the baby grows up, and everybody else is a baby, and it's just full chaos. I wrote sequels to this. I don't think I said that, but yeah, I've written sequels to this.
Yes.
That is wonderful.
I will put those links on our podcast page that we have on the anomalyfilmfest.com website. So I'll put Ray's social and the link to his itch.io. I don't know how to say it, but I know what it is. So you can pick up his games.
Thank you.
And thank you so much for coming on with us, Ray. You're welcome anytime.
Oh,
really and truly, it's been such a pleasure. And I'd love to have you back anytime.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Feel free to call me anytime.
Definitely.
I'm glad this worked. It was going to be real awkward if it didn't.
Yeah.
For me personally.
I had nothing but the utmost confidence because good people, Meg.
Thank you. I try.
So now I'm going to do the pitch for Anomaly. Is everybody ready? Yes. This is a really good segue I'm going for. So yes, this has been the Anomaly Presents podcast about the genre movies that inspired the Anomaly Film Festival. If you want to know more about that, check out anomalyfilmfest.com. You can see what we did this past year. Our last show before this one, we did a whole festival wrap up. It was wild this year. We got a surprise appearance from one of the actresses who came from Tokyo to hang out with us. It was incredible.
Did we know she was coming? No. So we
Absolutely
told
not.
people, no, that's not her. We know. We lied to our own audience's face.
And then found out moments later that we did. So yeah, these are the kind of fun things that'll happen at the Anomaly Film Festival. We can't guarantee actresses will fly in from other countries every year, but it can happen, and you should be there to see it if it does. It's anomalyfilmfest.com. It's coming up this November. Dates to be announced very soon, if not already. Check out anomalyfilmfest.com or Anomaly Film Fest on Instagram and Blue Sky. Maybe.
Yes. In all honesty, follow us on Blue Sky and Instagram, or oh my God, join our newsletter. It's on our website because that we control that more than anything else.
Yep.
That in the year of our Lord 2025 is the best way to get a hold of us. Anomalyfilmfest.com.
I'm trying so hard as a social person, people.
Get
I'm
on
trying.
the mailing list. Nobody wants to be on Meta anymore. We know. So we're doing our best. But yeah, that is the Anomaly Film Festival. Come hang out with people and do fun things, watch some cool movies, and make friends. That's the big sell. How's that? Did I do it?
Always. You're a pro at this.
All right. Thank you, everybody. This has been the Anomaly Presents podcast. You've been an incredible audience. Ray, thank you again for your unbelievable depth of knowledge about Street Fighter. And we will talk to you all again real soon. Thanks, everybody.